here because we've been, come on up, or come up out, okay. Eric's going to do a little monologue.
Okay, hi. So you would not believe what happened last week. So, I was just chilling out like I like to do when I realized that I had basketball practice and I hadn't eaten or done my homework. And I had about 15 minutes. So I was thinking, which one? Basketball or homework? Or food? So I thought maybe I could fit all three. So I asked my dad, what should I do first? Should I eat first? Or should I do my homework first? And he said, how about you decide? What's better? What's more important, homework or food? So I'm thinking, well, I think the answer he wants is homework, but I personally think food. I said homework. So he's like, okay, then do your homework. You can eat after basketball practice. So I did my homework, and then I went to basketball practice, and it was all fine. Then I realized that I had more homework that I left at school, and my basketball practice happened to be at school, so I was getting a little mad. So my dad told me that he was really tired and he would not drive me to basketball practice or to the school. So I thought, well, I'll have to get there myself. So I biked to school. I mean, why not? And turns out the doors were locked. So I was kind of mad. Then I remembered, I'm out here already. I might as well do something. It's not like I'm going to bike all the way back home. So I stopped at the local gas station and bought a soda. Then I went home. Then I remembered that my dad doesn't let me drink soda, so I'm thinking, uh-oh. So I tried to chug it down, but my dad realized that I was looking a little queasy when I got home. And he asked me, Eric, why were you away for like half an hour? And I'm like, oh, I biked to school and biked back. So he asked me why, and I said that I wanted to get my homework, but the doors were locked. So I decided I'd do something, and I almost told him that I got a soda. But then he asked, Eric, did you get a soda? And I said, well, I did, but as you can see, I didn't drink it. I gave it to my friend because I'm generous. And I'm thinking, well, that's probably what he wanted me to answer also. So I'm thinking, I really need that homework because I do not want to get my grade even lower than it is because that gets my parents mad. So I biked back to school. And I'm back at school and I'm thinking, okay, let's go to the other door because there's two doors. So I'm thinking maybe the other one's unlocked, and it turns out it was. So I go in, I get my homework, and by now it's like 9 o'clock. And it's my bedtime, so I have to work in bed. And I can't really work for that long. It takes me about 15 minutes to fall asleep, and I can do my homework in about 15 minutes. So I'm thinking, okay, I gotta do my homework. And then I realized that our teacher, she doesn't actually check if we have the correct answers. She just checks that we filled out every slot. So I'm thinking, maybe I should just fill out these slots randomly. So I wrote a bunch of random words in there. And I brought it back to school. And then everybody, I'm just having a regular day, and then she's like, okay, Eric, you have your homework? And I'm like, yup, it's right here. Just show it to her. And she's like, She goes on the second page. She goes on the third page. Wait a second. Why is that the same word that you wrote on the second page? And I'm like, well, because they have the same answer. And she asks, okay, so what's the answer to this question? And so it was like a word that starts with P and has a suffix ation. So I was thinking like, I wrote a word that didn't start with P or have a suffix ation. So I was thinking, well, I wrote down the answer that I felt was best because I did my best. And she said, Eric, I'm going to make you a photocopy of this. I'm going to give it back to you. And you're going to do it tonight. And you're going to actually take your time and read the questions. And if you don't know the answer, look it up in a dictionary. And I'm like, what the heck is a dictionary? Because, like, why is the teacher asking me to do something that I don't know how to do? So, a little freaked out. So I went home and I got right to my homework because I didn't have any after school activities. And I got the first few answers without looking through a dictionary. And then I came to an answer that I had no idea what it meant. so I asked my dad, hey Dad, do you know the answer to this question? And he's like, how about you look it up in a dictionary? And I'm like, do we have a dictionary? He's like, yeah, it's been sitting on your desk up in your room for about 3 years and you haven't touched it. I'm like, uh-oh. So I go up and sure enough, it says dictionary across the top. I mean, I can't read. I mean, that's one of my few educational qualities. So, yeah, I read it and I looked through and I found a word that fit the category. It was a really long one. So I copied it down. And after that, I didn't have to look up any more words, which I was happy. And finally, I went back to school, and it turns out it was the same problem on the third page that I got wrong yesterday. So she checks it, and she's like, well, Eric, this is not one of your choices. I'm thinking, choices? You never gave me choices. If I had a choice, I wouldn't have done this homework. And she says, see, these are your choices. Which one fits this category? And I'm thinking, well, none of those do. That one does, the one that I wrote down. I looked that up in a dictionary. That took me a long time. I worked on that. And she's like, well, they're like, did you look this up in a dictionary? And believe it or not, it wasn't a dictionary I looked it up in. It was the CIA World Fact Book. And I don't know why I thought it said dictionary, but I thought it did. And turns out this word had nothing to do with the topic, it didn't fit the thing. And I got an F-. Not great. And my grade is now just 50. So, thing is, you have to remember, when you go to basketball practice, don't forget your homework. Or at least, double check when you read something that looks like dictionary, because it might be the CIA World Fact.
All right, we have a little comedian in our midst. Frankly, that was a little insight into that boy's life that we're all never going to forget, are we? Kind of makes you wonder about how smart kids are about their homework. Like, she's never going to check, I'm just going to fill it in.